Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up, wake up, it's time to rise and sing the praise of Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's time to rise, to sing, to shout, to bring him all your heart. He'll do the bigger part if you will only make a start.
Have a great early morning delight, dear 7-minuters. Truly, God is so good that until now, we are still in control of our lives and destinies. That is why today, we will never forget to put God as our first priority of our lives, especially after getting out of bed. Once again, this is your primary daily routine, the 7 Minutes with God, and this is still your online evangelist and friend, Brother Noy Gonzaga, humbly serving as God's mouthpiece for this ministry. It is just fitting to start our spiritual refueling with a verse found in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8. And it says, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit." Let me repeat the verse, it's very nice. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. This is the content of Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8. Have you had instances in your life wherein you are doing something but you have tried more than enough, okay? That you can bear and you gave up because you cannot bear it anymore? Well, how much is enough? Is it the 5th try, the 10th try, or the 20th try? Well, whatever that is, the bottom line is, are we patient enough to make those tries? Harley is a war veteran, and he recently retired from active service. He settled in his locality and lived a fairly normal life. 5 years later, after his retirement subsidy was evaluated, it was never enough for him to live. He needs to have additional income and income-generating work in order not to struggle with his finances. It was almost 2 decades since his mother died, but Harley remembered one thing his mother said, that she left a Bible for him and a special recipe in that Bible. Upon refreshing his memory with those conversations that he had with his mom, he looked for the Bible and luckily found it in one of his closets. He opened it and his mother was right. There is a fried chicken recipe inserted in it. Well, he was happy to see it, but his happiness waned down because what will he do with that recipe? Reality struck back that he really need additional income to have a normal life. Now, he looked at the recipe again and he told himself, why not scout for fast foods or canteens that may use this recipe even just for a few dimes? So, the next morning, he decided to walk down the metropolis and then approach every canteen and eatery owners regarding his chicken recipe. But the problem is, almost all stores have chicken recipe. He approached the 30th store and still to no avail. 40th, 50th. Harley said, "It's time to go home, for this is useless." But when he was planning to already journey home, he remembered his mom's advice. "Harley, life is a battle of the length of patience. Almost always, the longest one has the highest probability of success." He did not only hear the reminders of his mom once, twice, or 10 times, but many times, many times. And this is what he likes best from his mom, the reminders. So he was puzzled now and did not know what to do. He decided to approach one more store. When he knocked, He was ushered in and he was accommodated. But the store owner said that they have already a chicken recipe. But the owner said, you can try and cook with us, and we will observe for a month. If people will like your recipe, then we will adapt that for an alternative to the eating guests. To make the long story short, after a month, the store decided to drop their own chicken recipe and adopt Harley's chicken recipe. It did not end up there. Later on, the owners, seeing Harley's commitment to the food industry, entrusted the food hub to Harley. From then on, there was no turning back, and the rest was history. Friends, Harley is Colonel Harland Sanders, the founder of KFC or Kentucky Fried Chicken, one of the world's greatest chicken food hubs. Yes, it was the 51st try. What if he stopped at the 50th? Will he be able to establish a great dining food hub that families love to go and dine today? Patience is really a great virtue. Sometimes God even used patience to determine the enduring from the lukewarm Christians. At the end of the day, every try will never be considered a failure, not unless we never learn anything from the trials that approached us. One more try after a failing try is what separates successful people from those who almost succeed but then still failed. At the end of the day, God will never keep a blind spot or a blind sight on our continuous struggles to attain spiritual success. Yes, dear friends, Jesus never fails, and He will always see your patience as a testimony of a heart of a person who has a burning missionary desire. Contemplate about your patience and your patient journey of trials-filled life and prove to yourself that Jesus never fails.
So many souls have tested Him throughout the course of time. So many still reach out to Him with broken hearts and minds. And every one of them will say, without exception, that they find Jesus never fails. Even in the days of old, He brought His people through, and then He came to show His love and died for me and you. And then He rose again to prove that every story had been true. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. You might as well get thee behind me, Satan. You cannot prevail, because Jesus never fails. Sometimes this world brings trouble I find so hard to bear. I know I could not make it without Jesus being there. It's encouraging to know, however deep we're in despair, Jesus never fails. So what can I do to prove to you? Tell me, how can you deny? Oh, no one told facts, no mystery. It's all so cut and dried. And on the witness stand of your life, I'll be the first to testify. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. You might as well get thee behind me, say Satan, you cannot prevail, because Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. You might as well get thee behind me, Satan. You cannot prevail, because Jesus never fails. Jesus never fails. Never fails.
Friends, as what our biblical gem says, Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Well, patience is really a heavenly virtue. Now let me share this quote with you by Edmund Burke. He said, "Our patience will achieve more than our force." Sometimes in life, we use force to advance our ideology. But what we do not know is, patience will pave the way. Don't forget, the next opportunity might be the greatest one, and you choose to let go of it. A little more patience could have spelled a life of difference with God. When discouragements are already starting to pile up, remember, Jesus never fails. We just need to continue trying. That is heaven's lesson for today, as we end these 7 minutes with God.
Wake up, wake up. It's time to rise and sing the praise of Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's time to rise, to sing, to shout, to bring.
Wake up! Wake up!